YouTube. YouTube. What's up, YouTube? How you doing today? Happy Wednesday, hump day, baby. Hump day, it's over with. It's all downhill from here on out. That's right. That's right. I got a message, though. Got a message for you gentlemen out there. That's you. Got a message. Something's been eating at me. And I feel it's finally got to be said. It's got to be said. I use the restroom at different facilities. Like anybody else. But what I'm noticing is, from this generation, seems like hygiene is on the back burner. It's not on the forefront of thought. Because what I notice is, when I'm in a facility that has urinals, as well as stalls. Excuse that background noise. I see people, younger generation, that come in and they use these stalls. Go in, close the door behind them. They're in there doing whatever they do. But what I notice is, as they're coming out, one by one, I may be at the sink washing my hands. But in the mirror, I can see these individuals coming out of these stalls. My expectation, maybe it's too high, but my expectation is for them to line up with me at these sinks, to spend some soap in their hands and get to cleaning. Remember, you just came out of the stall. What else could you be doing in the stall that wouldn't entail for you to wash your hands? I don't know. But I do know that it seems like 8 out of 10 people that come out of those stalls walk right past all the sinks that are in the facility and head out the door. Does that bother you? That bothers me a little bit. It bothers me a little bit. Because that makes no sense. And it's usually a younger face that I see that's doing it. You gotta realize that that's a necessity. That has to be done. We all know the procedure that takes place when you're in those stalls. You have to come out and give a good washing on your hands. That's something you learn during the upbringing, from childhood up. Another thing I see is, if one of them happens to make it to the sink, this is what I see. Here's your faucet. Done. Hands are clean. And they mine. What did you just do? What did you just accomplish? Absolutely nothing. You accomplished nothing. I ain't never known for germs to just roll off an object, such as your hands, with a mere splashing of water. Is that supposed to be a gesture of showing me that you have hygiene? Or showing anyone that sees you come out of that stall? Is that your way of proving to them that, hey, I made an effort? Or I actually washed my hands? Maybe that's your thought. Maybe you actually think you're washing your hands. I don't know. With that little sprinkle of water, wiping it off, and then heading to the door, you did nothing. And now you got the door handle all wet. So the next guy gets to touch it and doesn't know what he's touching. He don't know if he's touching urine, water. He don't know. You can't even do a simple act of drying your hands properly. That's a bit of laziness that's going on in your life, if that's you. You got to remember, these same guys are the ones that, if they have a choice of 10 urinals to do number one, they go straight for a bathroom stall just to do number one, just to pee. A urinal stall. To make it even worse, they don't even flip up the toilet seat. So now the next guy gets to open the door and see a toilet seat that actually needs to use the stall for what it's used for, what it's made for. They get to see a toilet seat full of piss. When that individual has 6, 7, 8 stalls, or 6, 7, 8 urinals to choose from. Now maybe you got a condition that you're embarrassed of, and you don't want to use a urinal right next to somebody else. Maybe that's your reasoning for going into a stall. But to pee on a seat? Come on now, have some respect. Not only for yourself, for the fellow man. Have some respect. Because the day is going to come when that next man is going to be you. And there won't be another stall available for you to go into. And guess what? That's going to be the day you have an emergency. I pray that day happens for you if you're the one doing those types of things. Because when you peeing on a seat, now we got pee all over the floor. Alongside the toilet, in front of the toilet. So when the next man goes in, drops his trousers to do his duty, guess what his trousers are sitting in? A wet floor. That ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. Don't nobody want their clothes and their apparel on top of a floor full of piss? Come on, man. Let's step it up now. We all grown men in this world. We all have to show a level of respect towards one another. That's the bare basics. Bare basics of respect. It makes no sense. If you carry those habits around with you at work or at any other place, you're going to do the exact same thing when you get home. You're probably already doing the exact same thing at your home. Unless you got someone cleaning up behind you, like a mama or something, which that shouldn't be the case for you in the first place. But unless you got that going on, you need to grow up mentally. Because if you ever plan on having a future with someone other than yourself, and living with someone other than yourself, even if it's a roommate situation, if it's a romantic situation, if you carry those habits into a residence living with other people, this ain't gonna be the last time you're gonna hear about something like that. Those are simple things that nobody should have to tell you about. But it seems like this younger generation don't care. That's what it seems like. When you got 8 out of 10 people, it seems, I'm not keeping tally, keeping score, but when you got a lot of people using the restroom, going number 2, coming out of stalls, and walking straight for the door, that's disgusting. That's a whole type of man right there. I can't even put him in the category of a man. So you need to work on improving your life, if that's you. Simple etiquette. That's etiquette right there. That goes along with being a clean person. If you meet someone and you living with someone and they realize that that's the type of man you are, they're only gonna put up with so much of that. You're gonna be the talk of the town to all their friends until they get tired of it. Because nobody should be raising a grown man. Not if he wants to be called a man. You're at the urinal, doing your business. You know what I mean? Make sure you hit the hole. Why is the floor always wet? Why is there always splashes and puddles underneath a urinal? Somebody has to clean up behind you. Doesn't matter if that's their job. Their job shouldn't be cleaning up behind you. Their job should just be keeping the place clean. Not cleaning up behind another man. It's disrespectful, it's rude, it's unprofessional, etc. and etc. Improve yourself, improve your life, improve your way of thinking. As far as the ladies, I don't have anything to say regarding that, because I don't know your situation in restrooms. But what I wanted to add to that in regards to the women, I know that a lot of women are working in fields that are predominantly ran by men. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Follow that money, ladies. Chase that money. But if you're working at a facility that only has porta potties, for example, that are accessible to you, and those porta potties are shared by men and women, you need to speak up. Because I know how nasty and disgusting those porta potties can get. Because the same men I'm talking to are the same ones that are disrespectful in those porta potties, knowing that they're not only for men, they're also being used by the women. And as a woman, you have to use those toilet seats to do either business you need to take care of. And there's no way in the world you should allow yourself to have to use one of those porta potties that are gross, disgusting, and nasty. And we're talking about facilities that don't have indoor restrooms. That's what I'm referring to. Like a construction site. Like a security type job where all you have is access to a porta potty that's being used by both sexes. I try my best as a man to never use a porta potty if I have a choice. The only time I have and would is if I'm on a time constraint, or if I had some situations going on inside here that's been working inside for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I returned and I had no choice but to use a porta potty. But that's always a last resort. But as a woman, as a lady, you don't have that luxury of standing up and handling your business. So in those situations, you need to demand a specific porta potty for the ladies, in addition to one for the men, totally separate. Because there's no respect across the races. Across the sexes. I've seen men use these porta potties when they know women have to use them right after them. Same ones that are peeing on the seat. Same ones that are spitting on the seat, spitting on the floor, etc. You need to demand a separate facility for yourself, for other ladies as yourself. They have to provide that to you. Speak up. Lastly, men, again, I don't know what it is with just generation, but it seems as though the more you let yourself go, the more cool you are, the more in you are. Seems like never getting a haircut. Seems like looking like a wild man is what's in. It seems like dressing like a hobo, like a bum, is what's in. That was never my generation. That was never the generations before mine. Back in the 50s and 60s, dress suits, nice shirts, slack pants, daily. 70s and 80s, we dressed fly all the time. You know what I'm saying? Butterfly collar, bell bottoms, creases, everything. Same for the 90s and 2000s. But this generation today seems like the less you care about your appearance, the more you fit in. We don't need men like that in America. Men, don't strive for that. That's not the type of men we need and want on this channel. Do better for yourself. Represent yourself better than you are. Don't prove them wrong, or don't prove them right, should I say. Because they're already stereotyping you for several different reasons. Don't give them any more reasons. Remember, you want to stand out in a positive manner. If you're growing your hair out, that's fine. I know there's a phase between it being fully grown and the beginning process. Don't mean you gotta look like a wild beast in between that time period. There's things you can do to tone down the look, tone down the hair, groom it to a certain level until you get to the place that you want to be. Don't just let your hair grow wild and out of control and nappy and ungroomed, etc. Don't walk around here with your pants halfway down your leg. Cut all that out. That's played out. Ain't nothing cool about none of that. We got to do better in 2025. We got to get our mind right first. Then everything else will follow. Hope you heed to these words of advice. If I don't say it, I don't know who will. But it's got to be said. Lastly, gentlemen, I understand some of you have to spit a lot. I never had that issue, that condition. Be mindful where you're spitting. Don't spit on the sidewalk, man. People got to walk on that sidewalk. Ladies got to walk on that sidewalk. Other human beings got to walk on that sidewalk. Make an effort to get to the curb. Do what you got to do in the street. Don't just spit anywhere you're walking. Don't just spit on the wall. Don't just spit in the commonplace. Don't spit indoors. Have some self-respect. Have some respect for the next person. I understand it may be a condition, but you got to handle it better. Do so in the grass. Do so in the street. Do so off the pathway. Be respectful about everything you do in life. People observe everything you do in life. Don't forget that. People judge your character off everything you do in life. I'm here for you. With all due respect. Just trying to mold the young men into an actual man that they should be. I'm out. Keeping it all the way peanut over here for you. Peace.